Good morning. Welcome to another One Mind meditation. This week we don't have one specific teacher that this week is dedicated to. Every day will be different, and sometimes multiple teachers during one of our meditation sessions. For today, I chose Lao Tzu and Eckhart Tolle to speak to us about today's theme, today's meditation. Just before I get started, I'd like to remind you that to make your meditation as much of an inner experience as possible and have as little outside distraction as possible, getting a place as dark as you can is great. And if it's already light where you are and you're struggling to get the place really dark, use a sleeping mask if you can. When you use a sleeping mask, you have very little outside light coming in and more of an internal experience. Alrighty, let's get into today's thoughts. The first one is from Lao Tzu. Lao Tzu tells us this. He says, "The key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness." Hey, Michelle, good morning. Sunmari, good morning. Awesome seeing you. I'll repeat this again. Lao Tzu says the key to growth is the introduction of higher dimensions of consciousness into our awareness. And knowing Lao Tzu's work, he tends to be a lot more practical than he sounds. Higher dimensions of consciousness. What would that mean? How do we get ourselves to higher dimensions of consciousness? And it's really very simple. Take an example of you dealing with another human being, another person. You have a different point of view than the other person, and you're trying to figure this out. And from where you stand, what you're looking at is, you believe, a circle. And you could very well, as we humans tend to do, double down on the truth that you see, the truth that this is a circle that we're dealing with. Anthony, good morning. Lorraine, good morning. Good to see you all. The other person that you're busy dealing with might, from their point of view, from their vantage point, see a rectangle. And they might, like we humans do, double down on the truth of what they see, and this truth being a rectangle. And we can be going about this all the time, for the whole day and sometimes for years. Me defending my truth, which is a circle, and him defending his truth, which he believes is a rectangle. Craig, a very good morning to you. It's awesome seeing you. What we need to, as Lao Tzu says, is we need to introduce higher dimensions of consciousness. Being able to see from a higher dimension literally gives us a three-dimensional view of what could be more true. We're actually dealing with a cylinder, not either a circle or a rectangle. Seeing from a higher dimension of consciousness can be that simple, or be explained that simple. Karabo, good morning. It's so good to see you. Right, so how do we get better at this? How do we train ourselves to see from a higher dimension this way, and not just our own narrow point of view, our own narrow truth? And I'd like to start out with this question. Are you able to look at your own thinking? Are you able to look at your own thoughts? Are you able to watch yourself thinking with a curious interest in what your brain produces? If you can look at your own thinking this way, take a step back and be the observer of what your thoughts are doing, then you certainly are stepping away from the circle you thought you saw to try at least and see, what else am I not seeing? So Eckhart explains this very well. He's got some beautiful work on this. I'll give you a few of his thoughts. Eckhart says, the moment you realize you are not present, then you are in fact present. You've just become present when you realize you're not being present. Whenever you are able to observe your mind, you are no longer trapped in it. Another factor has come in, something that is not of the mind, the witnessing presence. He says, don't judge or analyze what you observe. Watch the thought, feel the emotion, observe the reaction. Don't make a personal problem out of them. You will then feel something more powerful than any of those things that you observe. the still observing presence itself behind the content of your mind, the silent watcher. And the last thought from Eckhart says, observe your thoughts. Don't believe them. Observe them. This is our meditation today. It's called The Observer. And it helps us practice this. It helps us take a step back and see ourselves. And there's certainly wisdom there. He tries to explain that when we do that, we step into something different. We step into a completely different part of ourselves when we're able to do that. And then we're able to do that more and more with the humans around us as well. Right, if you're ready, you can close your eyes and let's float away together. Starting with the first few big breaths. Let's take a deep breath in. And out. Take a deep breath in. And out. Deep breath in. And let it go. A deep inhale. And out. One more big breath in. And let it all flow away. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly. And as you fill up your belly with air, straighten out your spine. Lift the top of your head toward the ceiling. And once you've reached your full height, then again let all of it go. As you exhale, soften. As you breathe out, soften your spine, slump down your shoulders, and drop your head. While you continue your full body breathing, rising and falling and deliberately trying to soften your body more with every exhale, I'll talk you through an exercise. And I would suggest taking a few moments sometime today to try out this exercise somewhere in your environment. It helps us become more of an observer. The words we use, the labels we put on things, all come with their own baggage their own previously learned things. By naming something, by slapping an old label on it, it's easy to not see the whole thing, because of course I know what this is if I can slap an old label on it. I know what it does, I know how it exists, and I move on. We're going to try and observe things without describing them with words or old words. And again, I'd love you to try this exercise physically in your environment sometime today. For this moment, I want you, with your eyes closed, to find an object in the room that you are in. Bring it to your mind. And try and stay away from putting its normal label on it. If you didn't call it what its name is, how would you describe this object? How would you make someone else understand what you're looking at? How would you describe its colors, its corners, its angles, and its textures? It requires a rethinking when we don't use the old labels we've become accustomed to, when we don't default to our own old habits. We've got to be a lot more conscious and become a better observer. I'd suggest go out in the garden today and find some living things. Take a moment with these living things and do the same. How would you describe a flower if you were not allowed to use the word flower? Or a tree? Or a cat or a dog? I'm not saying we shouldn't use labels, but I'm saying this exercise makes you a better observer. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, helping our bodies stretch, adjust, and settle down with more comfort into the next part of our journey. Let's take a deep breath in. As you release, drop your head all the way forward. Roll out your neck muscles. Forward and to the left, and forward and to the right. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders forward in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, roll your shoulders backwards in big, slow circles. Take a deep breath in. As you release, focus on your spine. See if you can tilt your head to the left while you tilt your hips to the right. Twisting your spine into an S from your head down to your tailbone. One more big breath in. And as you release, you can stretch or move or adjust any part of your body that still needs a bit of help settling down. Having softened our bodies into a state of presence as much as we can right now, we'll turn our attention inwards and dive deep inside for the next part of our journey. If you don't have the time to sit for the whole meditation with us, this would be a great place to stop. But if you are here for the whole journey, with every next inhale, we'll hold our breath for a few short moments, followed by a long, slow exhale. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it the longest, slowest exhale that you can. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, feel into your body and invite softness into every muscle of your body. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, follow the downwards flow. Feel your shoulders slowly falling, feel your body slowly softening. Feel how you are slowly slipping deeper into you. One more big breath in. And hold. As you release, feel yourself melting, feel your whole body dissolving. Feel how you are slipping into a deeper level of surrender with every slow exhale. You can continue the same breathing pattern on your own time. Every slow inhale through your nose gets drawn all the way deep down into your belly and invites you to follow this journey. As you breathe in, feel the air flow in through your nostrils. Feel the air touch the back of your throat. Stay with your breath as it flows in through your lungs. And And as you fill up the balloon inside your belly, feel yourself slip all the way in. Hold your breath, but only for as long as it feels really easy, followed by a long, slow exhale. With your next big breath, as you dive deep into you, our journey today is being the observer. What does that mean to you to be the observer? Take your next big breath. I want you to bring to your mind a recent incident where you became triggered. Perhaps the right word is flooded with whatever the emotion was. It might have been anger. Let's specifically look at an example where you were interacting with another human being. Either in traffic, at the office, at home, in a store. Where did someone trigger you? And it would be extra helpful if you can remember an example of which you really don't feel proud. Whatever example comes to mind will be useful. Either keep searching for an example or take a good look at the example you found as you take your next big breath. Another way to describe this example would be a moment in which you were very reactive. To refresh your memory and to practice being the observer, we'll make it really simple. Can you step far enough back to look at you and remind yourself of what you were wearing in that moment? And it's not important that you do remember. It's simply helpful to do the exercise. Can you step far enough away from you, look at you in this situation, and remember the clothes you wore? Take your next big breath. Take a moment to remember what triggered you so. What did the other person say or do that was so triggering to you? Take your next big breath. How clearly can you see your reaction? Look at your body language. How clearly can you see the way you hold or the way you move your body as you feel so triggered? Take your next big breath. Take a closer look at your face. Are you able to look at you and observe what the expression on your face must have been in this moment of being reactive? Take your next big breath. Can you remember your thoughts in this moment? Can you remember the thoughts you were thinking and the words that came out of your mouth? Are Are you able to remind yourself of how you spoke? Take your next big breath. And then the true necessity for finding that place that we can call the observer. Are you able to look at all of you, all of your reaction, thinking, speaking, and not have any judgment of you? Not criticize any part of you, even though you might be able to see that this was not the most helpful course of action. If you feel a sense of judgment or criticism towards yourself in this moment, you've still not completely stepped into observer. You are still somewhat caught in thoughts in your mind. Are you able to put the judgment and criticism down completely and just look at this human in this moment doing their best to survive? Take your next big breath. We'll take the last few big breaths of this phase together, slipping out of the breath holding space and into the next. Let's take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, make it a really long, really slow exhale. Take a deep breath in and hold. As you release, invite softness into every fiber of your being. One more big breath in. And hold. And as you release, feel yourself slip all the way through. attention on your breathing. You can sit all the way back or lie all the way back down and feel yourself just floating. I want you to create a scenario in your mind where the same situation happens again. The same person says or does the same thing. But this time, you want to respond to them differently. If you could redo this, what would your body language look like this time? What would you be telling yourself in this moment if it had to replay again? How would you speak to yourself in your mind? What would you tell yourself as this happens? What would you want the expression on your face to be as you respond to this person in a different way? What words would you choose to say to this person? How would you speak to them if the moment were to replay again? It can be hard to catch ourselves right in the moment of pressure. And so often our reactions are unhelpful, and we feel bad about them for a long time. Catching yourself in hindsight, like this exercise, might not change the old situation, and it doesn't need to be changed right now. But catching yourself in hindsight like this allows you to rehearse, allows you to step into the place of observer, and especially if you're not judging yourself, not criticizing yourself, then you're able to see with more clarity everything that was there. And as you rehearse, you are recreating a neural pathway of what your new decisions are. You're creating, recreating, and reinforcing what you want your new program, your new pattern to be. And by catching yourself in hindsight and doing the rehearsal after the fact, at some point, this new program will be available in the moment of pressure. And if you haven't experienced it yet, you certainly will. And if you have experienced a little bit of it, you are sure to experience more of it. Being much more calm under pressure, finding better words, better responses, even under pressure. But it's going to need you be the observer of you without judging and criticizing yourself first. We have the last 5 breaths of gratitude to do together. With every exhale, I'll say my thank you, and I invite you to say yours. Let's take a deep breath in. Thank you for learning how to become the observer of me. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for having learned that it's necessary to completely put down the judgment and the criticism of me. Because while I hold onto judgment and criticism, I still can't see all that is there. While I judge and criticize myself, I am, of course, still trying to hide things from myself for fear of judgment and criticism. Take a deep breath in. Thank you for becoming better at being calm under pressure too. Of reacting less and waiting, finding my breath first, even under pressure, before I choose how to respond. One more big breath in. Thank you, beautiful people. Thank you for being on our journey today. Hey Nella, good morning. Hey Charlene, thanks for popping in and saying hello even when you have load shedding. Thank you Estelle. Thank you beautiful humans. I can't remember who else is in the background. Thanks for being on this journey. Thank you somebody, it's a cool response. We really are doing that. Every time you become intentional, you are reprogramming. Every time you stop yourself before reacting and go, wait, is this old reaction what I want? Or do I want to respond in a new way? I choose a new way. Every time you do that is literally reprogramming old neural pathways and creating new ones. Thanks, Anthony. Lots of love to you all. Thanks, Lorraine. And I don't remember who else is back there. Lots of love to you all. Have an awesome day. Ciao, ciao.